If you see something, don't be silent, say something. It doesn't mean you're a snitch.
Your voice can silence corruption. Speak up against corruption.
Hello and welcome. This is Transparency Files. My name is Murna Barnabas Atiaye. Corruption remains one of the greatest obstacles to national development, affecting governance, public trust, and service delivery across all sectors. While enforcement agencies continue to intensify the fight, long-term success depends on something even more fundamental: raising future anti-corruption crusaders. This involves deliberately building a generation that values integrity, rejects corruption in all its forms, and actively promotes transparency in society. In today's edition, we examine how future anti-corruption crusaders can be raised, the role of value reorientation, and the efforts being made by institutions like the ICPC to nurture a culture of integrity among young Nigerians. Also on the program, we'll bring you updates from our state offices and other exciting segments. Stay with us. First, let us join Joy Aja for this week's anti-corruption highlights. It's over to you, Joy.
Hello viewers, thank you for joining us. My name is Joy Aja with Anti-Corruption Stories. The chairman of the ICPC, Dr. Musa Adamu Aliyu SAN, has showcased Nigeria's technology-driven anti-corruption initiative, the Constituency and Executive Project Tracking Initiative, CPTI, at the 16th Regional Conference and Annual General Meeting of Heads of Anti-Corruption Agencies in Commonwealth Africa, held in Yaoundé, Cameroon. The conference, hosted by the National Anti-Corruption Commission of Cameroon in collaboration with the Commonwealth Secretariat, was themed Deploying Artificial Intelligence in the Fight Against Corruption in Commonwealth Africa. Presenting Nigeria's country paper, Mr. Ahmed Abdul, ICPC's head of external cooperation, who did so on behalf of the ICPC chairman, described the CEPTI as a proactive technology-based mechanism designed to ensure transparency, accountability, and value for money in the execution of government-funded projects across Nigeria. According to him, the initiative, supported with geospatial mapping technology, enabled the Commission to carry out real-time monitoring, validation, and analysis of constituency and executive projects nationwide. He disclosed that projects worth over 22.9 trillion naira have been tracked under the CPTI since inception, while cash recoveries on improperly executed projects exceed 4.9 billion naira, with savings to the federal government from aborted, inflated, or rescoped projects standing at over 91.4 billion naira. The ICPC chairman further explained that the initiative has significantly reduced corrupt practices associated with public infrastructure delivery, including contract inflation, diversion of funds, ghost projects, and project abandonment, while compelling contractors to return to abandoned sites for completion. Dr. Aliyu stressed that artificial intelligence, data analytics, and geospatial technology have become critical tools in strengthening transparency and accountability in governance, urging anti-corruption agencies across Commonwealth Africa to institutionalize technology-driven project tracking frameworks and deepen collaboration in digital investigation and data science. At the end of the conference, heads of anti-corruption agencies across Commonwealth Africa adopted far-reaching resolutions aimed at strengthening the fight against corruption through the deployment of artificial intelligence. That will be all on this segment. Transparency Files continues. Please stay with us.
Corruption not in my country.
What's your name?
Onosode Omorife. May we check your own list, cause the list where they outside. Onosode on your name never do.
Your name is Honoriode. You even went as a fashion designer.
As you don't come back, so now I won't go as Akpobori Ovi, and Ovi won't go as pilots.
That is impersonation.
My own share for the national cake be that.
Mr. Onosode.
Akpobori.
The amnesty program. is an intervention project for sustainable economic development of the Niger Delta, which you are a beneficiary of, lying under pretext for your selfish gain and advantage is robbing others of the same opportunity. And that is an act of corruption, not in my country.
Stop corruption now.
Corruption not in my country.
If you're just tuning in, welcome back to Transparency Files. Raising future anti-corruption crusaders begins with intentional value formation. Integrity, honesty, accountability, and respect for public resources must be taught, practiced, and reinforced at all levels of society. Families, schools, religious institutions, and the wider community all play a critical role in shaping attitudes towards corruption. When these values are consistently upheld, young people grow into adults who are more likely to defend integrity and reject corrupt practices.
If you see something, don't be silent, say something. It doesn't mean you're a snitch.
Your voice can silence corruption. Speak up against corruption.
We are the future of Nigeria. Let us stand united against corruption.
Nigerian youths, particularly core members, play a vital role in shaping values of integrity as they serve in diverse communities where they encounter both positive and negative practices. Their experiences can influence them to either uphold ethical standards or adopt harmful ones, making it essential to intentionally engage and educate them as future anti-corruption advocates. To better understand their experiences and perspectives, we spoke with some core members on how corruption is perceived in their places of primary assignment and what role they believe they can play in fighting it. Let's take a look.
Corruption is extremely found at my primary place of assignment by ensuring that all staff members are treated equally. Also ensuring that all staff members do their duties as a when due and no staff member is put above the other. For examples, the managers are taking care of their position in the company, same as the cleaners, same as the HR department, same as the procurement department.
The fact that during our monthly biometrics, we go through the corner, so many of us go through the corner, and a specific procedure is being taken place in that biometrics. Sometimes we use our last CDS meeting, people that attend will go first before others. So you're supposed to stand with that rules instead of going through the corners to do your biometrics. So as a core member and also as an ICPC CDS group core member, you're supposed to do the right thing and stop corruption.
I think our core members play a role by attending ICPC classes, learning different things that could help sensitizing the youth from the grassroots, and also in their PPA or their places of work. They can also help by pointing out any form of corruption they see, reporting it for further investigation.
Institutions like the ICPC continue to strengthen engagement with young Nigerians through sensitization programs, integrity education, and community outreaches. These efforts are designed to ensure that core members are not only aware of corruption risks, but are also equipped to stand as ambassadors of integrity in their host communities. By empowering them with knowledge and ethical grounding, the foundation is being laid for a stronger, more accountable society. To gain further insight into these efforts, the head of Youth and Students Engagement Unit will shed more light on the Commission's initiatives aimed at promoting integrity among core members. Let's hear him.
The division is basically in charge of outreach programs. So we have different stakeholders because the Act has empowered us to reach out to the public. Now, when you look at the definition of public, you know that the public is into different segments. So the ICPC, in its wisdom, divided these stakeholders into different, segments. So that is why this unit was formed, to take care of youths and students. Youths and students in both schools and even outside of schools. You may have youths that have into associations or they have some kind of groups. We also deal with them. We have youths in tertiary institutions. We have youths in secondary schools, even our young pupils. So it's for youths generally. It's not limited, and students. And this particular group, when the commission was segmenting its stakeholders in the communication policy, there was an emphasis on this without any bias to any other groups. But the commission decided, in the wisdom of the board that time, that most of our programs should be centered around the youth, so that I think in their own wisdom in the future, they are the ones that will drive the anti-corruption fight. The core members, that is the level when, at least after graduation, you serve the country, you do your own bit before you go into the outer world and you become a full-grown adult without any coloration of birth. At that point in time, many of them have some kind of ideas which they may want to execute that has to do with community development, and that is why the ICPC, in its wisdom, formed the Anti-Corruption CDS group, so that you can use that platform as a copper to initiate, actualize, and the sky is the limit. Any idea that is related to anti-corruption, be it in form of sensitization, be it in form of a project that people can see, be it in form of training of youths in schools, be it in form of sensitization in marketplaces, so many ways. So when they meet, they discuss, they brainstorm, and because they have presence in all these 774 local governments, so through our orientation programs, we inform them about the presence of our CDS group in all these places, so that wherever they find themselves, if they are interested, they join, and they can share ideas through that platform. They can be able to do anything that will help in the anti-corruption crusade. So those stakeholders are very critical because of their presence everywhere. There is an NGO, Youth and Health Social Reforms, that approached the commission sometime last year and brought this idea to us that they had something similar to what our NEP is all about, the National Ethics and Integrity Policy. So when we looked at what they proposed, and we felt this is almost 90 to 95% similar to what NEP does. So we immediately keyed in, and then we started the project last year. What they basically do is to train the core members to go to schools. It's like a train-the-trainer kind of project. Whatever they are being taught, they will eventually reach out to students in schools. And it's just those are basic values in the society that we are beginning to tilt away from, which are good, as contained in the National Ethics and Integrity Policy. Issues like voice and participation, patriotism, responsibility, integrity, those are the basic things they teach in this values project. And a little bit of addition of self-actualization themes too. One or two things they added to help the core members also stand firm on their own and make good decisions as adults.
I am a Nigerian, a highly cultured race. My culture abhors corruption, and with my integrity, a new Nigeria is possible. I say no to corruption today to build a future for my children. Join me and imbibe the culture of integrity to build a Nigeria of our dreams.
How well do you understand the Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Act 2000, the enabling law of the ICPC? We spoke to Barrister Enosa Emogibo, a lawyer from our Legal Services Department, who will explain what the Act says about forceful entry into premises for investigation purposes. Let's hear him.
Forceful entry, as the word implies, is when operatives of a law enforcement agency, in this case the ICPC, gains entry into premises forcefully without the consent or the approval of maybe the owner or occupants of the premises. Most times when this power is exercised, people complain about the legality or otherwise of the exercise of such powers. It should be noted that the power to so act is donated to operatives of the Commission via Section 36 of the Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Act 2000. Now, the exercise of that power starts with the chairman receiving information that in a particular premise or a location, there's evidence of the commission of any offense. So the evidence of the commission of this offense could be, maybe in very popular cases, that there's a stash of cash in a particular house or a place, that the owner probably doesn't want to go through the banking system because of the obvious implications. It could also be maybe individuals who are engaged in racketeering. It could be employment racketeering, certificate racketeering also. And information is received, or credible intelligence, that there are equipment or a stash of certificates in a particular place. So once this information is received and processed, the chairman directs operatives of the commission to approach a court, get an order of court. Now, usually when they apply to get that order of court via Section 36 of the Act, they also ask the court to give them an array of warrants. It could be search warrants, arrest warrant, possession warrants. So with these court order and the warrants, they proceed to that premises. And then they're able to break in or force themselves into the premises. And it could be for purposes of getting those equipments or those stash of cash or whatever the subject matter is. So they get these ones. Then it is also possible for them to find people in the premises they could arrest, detain them, or take them away to another location for purposes of continuous interrogation. And they can make copies, if there are documents, they inspect, make copies of those documents, all armed with that order. So when that is done, they're able to gather evidence from that particular location in aid of either further investigation or prosecution, as the case may be. It's also possible that in the course of going into such premises, they find maybe obstructions. They are empowered by law to remove those obstructions. Now, the only condition that is attached to the exercise of this power is that when they find persons in those premises, if they have to search those persons, the search must be carried out by the same sex or gender. So when they are going for such operations, it is ideal, or usually they go with operatives, both male and female, so that if there's any person to be searched, these persons will do the search of same gender. Now, finally, some people would ask, why break into premises? Why don't you inform them or inform people that, oh, we're coming for a search? The element of surprise has to be there. Because if you inform people that we're coming to search their premises, it is likely that they would either destroy evidence, hide them, take them away from such premises. So because of that, it's usually done, speedily and then expeditiously, so that the persons involved in that criminal enterprise will not have the opportunity to take away or destroy those evidence that the commission is interested in such cases.
You're watching Transparency Files. Before we end this week's edition of the program, here is an update on activities from our state offices across the country. Phoenix Apolaha is our guide.
From Sokoto State comes a report. The Sokoto State Office paid a courtesy visit to the State Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education to strengthen collaboration and promote anti-corruption values in schools. The resident anti-corruption commissioner, Mr. Shintema Binga, stated that the commission's mandate includes prevention, public education, and citizen mobilization against corruption. He stressed the need to instill ethics and integrity in young people and called for support in establishing student anti-corruption clubs across schools in the state. Responding on behalf of the Honorable Commissioner, the Permanent Secretary, Professor Mustafa Umar Namaka, commended ICPC's efforts and assured the Commission of the Ministry's support. Coming from Ondo State Office, ICPC sensitized officials of the Federal Ministry of Housing and Urban Development in Akure on anti-corruption frameworks and ethical conduct as part of its public education campaign across federal institutions. During the engagement, the head of the Public Education Unit, Mr. Jemmi Owolabi, highlighted the Commission's preventive strategies, including public education, system reviews, and enforcement of ethical standards to promote transparency and accountability in MDAs. He also stressed the importance of public officers safeguarding public resources and upholding integrity. In her response, the Federal Controller Yetunde Morunfola commended ICPC for the timely sensitization and reaffirmed the ministry's commitment to due process, transparency, and efficient service delivery. And from Katsina State comes a report. ICPC Katsina State Office calls for a mutual collaboration in the fight against corruption. The resident anti-corruption commissioner, Katsina and Zamfara States, Mr. Samuel Lodam, hosted members of the Law Students Association of Nigeria, LawSAN, Katsina State Chapter, during an advocacy visit aimed at strengthening collaboration in the fight against corruption. Speaking during the visit, the LawSAN State Director, Mr. Yusuf Salisu Muhammad, said the engagement was to promote institutional partnership, legal education, transparency, accountability, and anti-corruption awareness amongst law students in the state. In response, Mr. Lodam highlighted ICPC's tripartite mandate of enforcement, prevention, and public enlightenment as provided in the ICPC Act 2000.
Thank you for staying tuned. That brings us to the end of today's edition of Transparency Files. Join us again next week, Friday at 6:30 p.m. on the NTA Network and NTA International. Have a wonderful evening. My name is Murna Barnabas Atiayi.